Hi, I'm Carolynanha Johnson, an Adnyamatna woman from the Northern Flinders Ranges here in South Australia. I wanted to share a story with you today about how the moon came to be in the sky. It's a story that was told to me, a bedtime story by my grandmother and my mum. And so what I've found in the latter years was it had been documented, and so for me to be able to tell it today, I've drawn on stories from my grandma and my mother and putting together what I've seen documented from other people in my community. So one day there was Uncle Ngamrana, and he had two nephews, the Orokali, the magpie, and the Wakala, the crow. And Ngamrana used to get his nephews to go out collecting food, and he would also expect them to bring it home and prepare it for him and his wives. And what would happen was that Ngamrana would end up eating most of the good food, and he left mostly the scraps for his nephews to eat. And this happened quite often, and the nephews started to feel to get annoyed with this behaviour. So they thought long and hard about what they should do about it, because he was their uncle. They had to respect him, but they felt that they were being treated unfairly by him. So they sat down and they talked about how they might go about teaching him a lesson. So they realised that Ngamrana really liked the witchetty grubs, and they knew a tree down the creek that had a lot of witchetties, and they knew Uncle liked to climb trees, and they thought, well, maybe if we could get him to help us, he may start to think about changing his behaviour, get him involved in doing some of this stuff with us. So they went to Ngamrana and they said, Ngamrana, we know you really like witchetties, and there's a special tree down the creek there. We'd like you to come along and give us a hand with getting these witchetty grubs out. And Ngamrana was, happy with that. So he said, okay, I'll come along. And so they said, well, you know how to do all of this, so you're the expert. You know where to find them, and you know how to take them out of the tree. And so what we'll do is we'll get you to climb up, and then we'll stand on the bottom and you can drop them as you're climbing, drop them down so that we can gather them up for you. So at the end of your climb, you can come back and we can have a nice big feed together. And Ngamrana was happy to do that, so he started climbing the tree, and the nephews were on the ground, and this was all part of their plan. They felt that if they could get him up the tree, they could carry out their plan with him to teach him a lesson. So Ngamrana started climbing, and he started getting the witchetty grubs and dropping them down. The nephews were gathering them up, keeping them all together so that they could have a feast at the end of... Ngamrana thought that they were going to have a feast, so they made it look like they were keeping them all together. But what they were doing was actually eating them and sucking on them and actually blowing wind back up the tree. And what they were doing, they were using their magic to make the tree grow higher and higher. And they could see the tree was going taller, but Ngamrana couldn't. And so the nephews were having some fun on the ground. They were rolling around, laughing, and really excited that they were about to carry out their plan. Ngamrana started feeling a bit suspicious and said, "Hey guys, what's going on down there? Why are you laughing so much?" And they said, oh, no, everything's all right. We're just enjoying collecting all these witchetty grubs from you. And this went on for a little while, and the tree got taller and taller. And then when the nephews felt that the tree was high enough in the sky, they did the last bit of their plan. They pulled the tree out from under him and left him suspended in the sky. And so then he became the moon. So that's in Anyamana Yuramura. That's how the moon came to be in the sky. The marks you see on the moon's belly are the scratches from the tree being pulled away from him. And so when we look at the moon, we always remember the story of the greedy uncle who wasn't willing to share with his family members, but his nephews had carried out this plan to teach him a lesson, and one I'm sure that he will never forget.